Welcome to the Cruising is Life podcast. Whether you're a seasoned cruiser or just starting out, we have something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and get ready to set sail with us on the Cruising is Life podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cruising is Life podcast. Not again, Justin. Welcome back to the Cruising is Life podcast, everyone. Welcome back to another weekly episode. We're doing a Q&A today. Justin and I are laughing at each other right before it started. But anyways, we got a really fun one today. We're going to go back with another Q&A. So we're going to be really relying on our live chat here on YouTube. But of course, if anybody is, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, just know that these are randomly coming in live on a I guess at that point it would be pre-recorded, but it's live right now. But anyways, right. We're joined by the usuals, Justin and Dimitri. How's it going, buddies?
It's raining here,
Pookies.
So,
Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, for real. But yeah, it'll be a fun one. It's like right before it cut to, like it showing us on camera, like I always like make a funny face, and every now and then Justin will catch it.
I caught it this time.
As soon as he starts laughing, I lose it. I completely lose it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and hop into our chat here. Looks like we've got Rob is on the Symphony right now. Just left Coco K. That's awesome. I love the Symphony.
I'm jealous. Must
be
nice.
Jealous. I would love to be on the Symphony right now. But we have your ideal NCL ships on 3 and 4 nights from Florida.
Breakaway and Getaway.
Hands down.
I mean, yeah.
The plus ships, the Breakaway Plus class is the better ones, but on a 3 and 4 night itinerary, absolutely Breakaway Getaway, just because they're a little bit smaller. I think they're perfect for it.
It's like the Freedom class.
It really is. Honestly, that's one of the best ship classes out there is those Breakaway Plus class ships. They are actually going to be doing the 3 and 4 nights soon, starting next year.
Isn't Getaway doing that?
So Getaway, so Getaway is going to do it for the whole season, at least in 25 into 26. But Breakaway is doing it only for a month, which is super weird. She's going to sail out of New York for December, then come down to Port Canaveral for January, run 3 and 4s with Getaway, and then she's going to go back up to New York and do normal sailings again. I don't get it.
Yeah,
but
very weird.
But yeah, honestly, I would love to hop on one of those if we could, but we've got other things booked.
Yeah.
A little too much booked. What was that?
Yeah. It's true. It is true.
Yeah. We literally just paid the Glory, then right after that we paid the Oasis, and then now we have, right before we go on the Oasis, we have the Venezia payment.
When is that due?
November 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, we go on the Oasis.
No Christmas presents this year.
Well, I wasn't expecting anything from you.
No Hanukkah presents this year.
No Hanukkah Harry's not going to be showing up this year.
Hanukkah Harry is not going to get over Tampa this year.
Good stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited. Those are going to be really good ships. I'm hoping that they actually do well for Norwegian, especially around that time, because they're going to have that new pier set up too. So I think, this is finally their chance to get back into that market to try to compete with Royal Caribbean. But of course, Carnival's getting into the mix here as well. So it'll be really cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like you said, especially with the, it's one thing to have the weekend cruises and just go to like a little private island, but like what Royal Caribbean did, and I guess Norwegian is trying to go in that direction. They're adding a pier, and hopefully we'll add more upgrades to the island. But yeah, it'll be nice to have Norwegian back running the 3s and 4s. They did it for a while with the Sky out of Miami,
right?
But then we've talked about it before. But once Royal Caribbean did what they did, it kind of put them out of business. It'll be nice to see them get back into it.
Yeah, it was like Coco K alone, but then also putting larger ships on there. I mean, the Mariner was running them out of the market for that. and now they have the Utopia. So I mean,
Right.
it's they definitely got chased out of that market very quickly. But even
Yep.
Carnival's hopping into it too. I mean, Celebration Key is looking really good, and they got a lot of ships going there.
Oh,
They even
yeah.
have the 4 and 5 nights on Paradise out of Tampa going there, which is crazy.
Yeah. They literally have,
That's great.
instead of Sea Day, Cosmo Sea Day, it's Celebration Key, which I think is great.
Okay. I know we just said that we don't need to be booking any more cruises, but we really should look into that because I do really want to try a fantasy class before like they all start to go out. Luckily, we have time. We're not booking anytime soon, but I would love to try to at least hop on that just
Yeah,
to try
me
the
too.
class one more time.
I'm in.
Perfect.
We'll go in like the summer of 26. That should be
Perfect.
enough time.
We have plenty of time.
All right. 3 of us are going.
Perfect.
You're in, Dimitri.
Perfect. You're in, Dimitri. You're going on the Paradise whether you like it or not.
He doesn't even know what we're talking about.
I want to try it. I told you I wanted to try it.
All right,
Oh,
good.
okay, perfect. Good answer then.
We'll have a Pookie sleepover the night before, and then we'll go on a little Pookie cruise.
We should have a Pookie sleepover before the Joy too.
We should have a Pookie sleepover this weekend.
You should come on over.
I can't. I got wedding plans on Saturday at Disney, so I got to do that.
Actually, that's good because I'm actually staying at my parents' house this weekend. It's my mom's birthday. So never
I'll
mind.
be right
Don't
there.
please don't show up this weekend. Belle's gonna be very confused.
I will definitely be there. I'll bring an air mattress.
And next weekend we're on the Glory.
Oh my god, I know.
I'm so excited for that.
Update on that.
Next
Tell me all
week's
about it. How many days?
next week's
what kind of room,
podcast-
Where you guys going to?
yeah.
3
So
days. Go ahead.
next week's podcast we're gonna do like a pre-cruise, kind of like a preview into it, and then the following week we're gonna have a review of the ship. But I'm excited. We've got one of the extended aft balconies on that class. It looks sick. I've
Yeah,
always
I'm
wanted one
hyped.
of those rooms. It's gonna be so cool. But yeah, let's see. Let's jump back into the chat here for our next question. We have perfect amount of time to spend cruising per month per year. That would be 365 days per year.
Yes, I agree.
Simple
I agree with
answer,
that.
365. Honestly, like because I do the short amount of cruises, or like the short cruises, the 3 nights, so frequently, I try to, cruise at least 4 or 5 times a year, which sounds like a lot, but I guess doing at least 1 week-long cruise a year, but then, you sprinkle in all the extra ones, it's usually pretty good. It's a pretty good mix, at least. You get the one actual, like, good long cruise, and then you get, of course, the quick little weekend getaways for the filler content, things like that, just trying to get away.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The shorter
Yeah.
cruises help stack them up, so that's why.
That too. I think so. Out of what do we have? Like 8 booked right now. We have Venezia. Yeah, I know. Shut up. Only I think 5 of them are 3 nights out of the 8.
I think just I think just Joy,
Venezia,
and Star,
Oh,
right? Are the
Freedom's a 4-night technically, but I'll loop it in. But but yeah, so we have Venezia, Star of the Seas, and then Norwegian Joy. Those are all 7s. The rest are all, 3 and 4s.
This is true. What about you, Dimitri? What you got going on?
I ain't got nothing much right now. Let me tell you.
You're going on the
I'm
Viva
in,
soon,
yeah.
though. How long is your Viva cruise?
It's just 7 days. I mean,
Okay.
there's a port obviously every day, and it's just Greece. It's not like Greece, Italy, Turkey. It's just a Greek intensive one. But we plan to stay over there longer than just the
Okay.
cruise. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Question here. Thoughts on Half Moon Cay upgrades? So I haven't actually looked too far into it. I know they're putting a dock there, which is going to be awesome. But that's going to open up a lot of potential for them, for Carnival, really. Because, yeah, Royal Caribbean's going to have Nassau with the, the private beach club and everything like that. But Carnival will have 2 private islands. So those 4-night or even the 3-night itineraries, you can do Half Moon and Celebration Key and the 4-night's throwing a sea day as well. I mean, Carnival can really kind of take advantage of having multiple Bahama private islands, and because they've a lot of the new waves, the new wave of deployments at least recently, the Mardi Gras is going to do Celebration Key and Half Moon.
Really? I did not see that.
It's going to do one or both, but it's got Half Moon on there now when the
Wow.
dock is open, which is going to be really awesome.
That's crazy. And it's good for, like, maybe not Princess as much, but Holland America with all the people that use, like, wheelchairs and scooters, just having a here.
Oh, yeah.
Here, so.
That they're going to do the same treatment for Princess K's right up the road.
Yeah, I think they are.
I'd have
Aren't
to look
they?
that up. I don't know if they are or not. That's actually a good question.
Maybe it's just
I
Half
don't know
Moon K,
if
I
they
don't think
are or if
I-
they're not, but do you think that they will eventually?
Yes.
Maybe eventually, yeah.
They'll
I
be the
think
only
they're-
ones without it.
Yeah, their first priority is going to be Half Moon for sure, but I don't see why they wouldn't. They just don't really use Princess K all
Not many
that
ships
often.
do that, but still, they got to be competitive.
Right, exactly. I guess it's just, yeah, Half Moon's definitely used a lot more often than Princess K.
I could have sworn there were plans for it, but maybe it was for Half
Yeah.
Moon K. I'm just confused, but
I know Half Moon, they had plans like submitted and like drawn up for it like a long time ago, but it's, it just kind of died off. I think probably COVID definitely had a factor in that.
yeah, for
But-
sure.
But yeah, that's actually a good question.
I think they've started construction.
Was there any additional plans that they want to do with Half Moon though? Is it just a dock, or are they like
I'm
adding
sure
stuff
they'll
to
make
it?
like island enhancements, but I don't think there's anything crazy going in.
I'm sure it won't be like a big giant water park like we're gonna see in
Could you imagine?
Celebration. Just 2 giant water park days. That'd be crazy. That'd be
For real.
nuts.
I mean, I guess if Carnival's going to be going there,
They can have a small water, but it doesn't need to be.
yeah, I don't think it'll be anything crazy. I think it'll just be more enhancements, maybe like a big pool or something like that. Like
That'd be
an adults
cool.
only area, something like that. Yeah.
Extend.
I don't
Okay, I
think-
see. They might be extending the beach. Is probably that makes sense. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard-
the beaches are pretty crowded.
I've heard Celebration Key that beach there, like right off the pier, is supposed to be like a mile long.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're in the middle of nowhere. Better be
That's
a mile long.
substantial.
Well, they're right off of Freeport. I don't know how, like, Freeport's not that big of an island, but like they are on the Grand Bahama Island, I guess, where
Yeah.
Freeport
He's
is. They're not
nailed
far
it.
from it.
It's a little ways,
sailed by
but I
our
mean,
war.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we did sail right by where that site and that port is going to be on the Allure.
Yeah, they kind of took us up into that little area and sailed
Yeah.
like really slow by it. So it's
Yeah.
further north, whatever
I think
direction it is.
it's on the south side of the island, but I think
Yeah.
it's like right on the corner where the south side is. So like the
Further east.
southwest
Some-
ish
Southeast.
corner,
No, southeast.
island,
corner.
yeah.
southeast
it's
corner.
to the
Oh
north.
yeah. I don't know directions. Sorry.
That's why you're on the train.
That's why. I love taking the train to work. It's so much fun. I just sit
Oh,
there and play my
yeah.
Nintendo Switch for 30 minutes.
I love that.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with Half Moon Cay. I think especially going off of Half Moon and Celebration Key, they can really double team that and really do good with that. It's not only on the 3 and 4 night itineraries, which they do ironically have 2 more XL ships, and they've talked about sending those ships on short itineraries. So I think they have a plan in mind when they're making all these announcements and upgrades to some of these places.
I agree.
Brady says, question for Dimitri. Are Voyager and Freedom painted blue because they're the namesakes of the class?
You guys know this answer, right?
I know why the other ones aren't painted. I don't know if that's why those 2 are painted.
I was told
No, it's
they're
not
all.
It's not what he said because of the namesake.
I was basically told that like the paint was just too expensive, so they decided not to do it. that because those were both painted pre-COVID. After
Yeah,
COVID,
that's it.
the rest of them got repainted, but they were painted normally, and it was
That's it. They're
supposedly
cheap.
like
Even with Celebrity and their newest ships, Constellation just went into dry dock like a couple months
see
ago.
that's
and they
that's
didn't make it
dumb.
look like
Yeah, I don't understand that though. Why would they leave 2 ships unpainted?
Two
for
ships
Celebrity.
completely unpainted. I get it with like the Freedom and the Voyager because like they're 2 out of 8
Right.
ships technically, even though they're split into 2 classes, but it's still 2 out of 8 ships. Whereas there's 2 ships not painted out of what 10, 12, something like that ships. How many are in
I mean,
Celebrity's fleet? Like 13, 14?
15, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when
like
you
that,
leave
I
2
don't
out, there's a thing called brand recognition, brand continuity. I mean, you gotta like
and
You
that
gotta
they
make
even
them all look the
still
same.
repainted it white. Just spend the money and just do it.
right because
You
they
got
look
more-
so much better with that dark blue paint. They look so much
know.
better.
And of course, Constellation is one of the 2 that sails out of here. That's not painted. So like, come on, man,
Tampa gets nothing good.
for real.
You're getting Legend though. That's soon. That's gonna be cool.
I'm hyped. And the Norwegian.
Did you
Jewel.
see? Yes. Did you see
And
the?
Riviera is coming.
Oh, Oceania. Yeah.
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 Did you see that the? So it's not until 2026. I marked my calendar because I'm definitely gonna forget by that point. But kind of like Spirit did when it was doing the the Trans Panama Canal cruise, where it ended up sailing out of Tampa that one time. Miracle's gonna do that in like April of 26.
I thought it was next year.
I think it's 20. I'll have to double check. I put it in my calendar because I was like, I'm definitely gonna forget, but I definitely want to go to Tampa that day to see it. But yeah, Miracle's gonna be in Tampa like one day.
No,
Damn. Yeah, we had her
Spirit
home port there for a while.
Yeah, we did a tour on her when she was still home ported there.
We did.
That was before the upgrades and everything too. She was like one of the last ships to ever get upgraded.
Yep. Oh yeah, you're right. Sunday, April 5th, 2026. Miracle, Constellation, and Jewel.
Oh, that's
And
a
that's
good
Saturday's
day.
triple ship day. Rhapsody, Grandeur, and Paradise.
I think I'm gonna stay at your apartment that weekend.
Oh wait, no, Miracle's sailing out of here in that year. I think.
Is
'Cause she's
no?
on
I think it's
She's
Legend.
on here again on Saturday the 11th with Enchantment and Grandeur.
I'll have to look into it then. One of them is there's a Spirit class. Maybe it's Spirit and it's doing it again. I don't know. There's
Yeah,
a
Miracle's sailing out of here in 26, so it must be 25.
maybe it's I don't know. That's cool though. That'll be nice. I
Yeah.
definitely want to see that ship again, especially now that it's been repainted. We're basically getting the whole Spirit class in Tampa at one point, which is
And
really
Vision
cool.
class.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, literally. And there's going to be days where all 3 of them are together. Rhapsody, Grandeur, and Enchantment.
is that all that's left? Or no? What's
Vision.
so Vision? Oh, okay, where's that? Like Fort Lauderdale?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Vision just kind of
Probably
like
in-
disappears.
Probably in
Same with
Europe,
Rhapsody.
doing like cruises to Jerusalem or something like it normally does, or Cyprus.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So later this year, she'll be. Yeah, she's selling out of
Carnival
Baltimore.
Legend is the last one I got to see in Tampa to get all of them together in a pic.
You never saw Legend before COVID?
I saw it, but I don't know if I have a picture of it.
Gotcha.
So I didn't see Legend, but I've seen the rest of them. But I did sail on Legend out of there. It was just a really long time ago. So I
Very
guess I'll
nice.
take it. Very nice.
Come see it this winter.
I definitely want to come down there that winter.
I
Isn't
think
she
there's
in
a-
Alaska right now, or is
Europe.
she doing like
No,
Europe
Legend
and
is.
Norway?
I think Legend's in Europe, and then Pride is in Baltimore, replacing
Pride-
her.
Yeah, Pride's in Baltimore because I remember it got
Yeah.
moved to Norfolk.
That's
because of the
right.
bridge.
Because we saw Pride with Spirit that day. That was the other ship that was there.
That was
Pride.
sweet.
That was
Yeah, I
so
think there's-
cool.
I think there's days where it's Jewel, Legend, and Islanders. So maybe one of those weekends you can come out.
Oh,
We have a
that'll be-
Kobe's dinner date.
I love Kobe's. You've got my interest already.
I know it's so.
I haven't
good.
seen the Islander yet. I do want to come out there to see it. It's just
You
they're
should.
only there on like by itself, which their
Yeah.
schedule is so stupid.
Once all the ships start coming back, there's a bunch of weekends where she's with at least someone. So
2 or
we'll
3.
figure something out. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question, we have thoughts on the engine problems with Vista. We almost did an entire podcast on this. We almost did, like, I don't think we could have done like an entire hour just talking about it, but we almost made this week's podcast on that. But what do you guys have to say about the engine issues or the Azipod issues for Vista?
It's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
So it's it's a bummer for sure.
That entire class, it's funny because everybody just thinks it's that class of ship, which it kind of is in a way. It's like that ship has had the most problems, but it's not just limited to that. It's just in Azipods in general. I think the newer ships have gotten a lot better with them. I don't see the issue as quite as often as the newer ships, but like especially the Vista class, but even like Oasis and Allure have Azipods, and they have Azipod problems from time to time.
Especially Allure.
Yeah, Allure's had them a lot.
I don't know why.
For those who remember, that time that Oasis like collapsed in the dry dock, that she was in there for an Azipod repair.
Yeah, brutal.
That was crazy. That happened on April Fool's Day. I was like, somebody in the Freeport shipyard took a picture of it and sent it to me on Instagram. I was like, no. I just didn't even open it because I was like, this guy's screwing with me. It's April Fool's Day. And then all of a sudden I see Royal Caribbean blog post about it. I was like, oh, that was real.
It was right
That
after
was
we saw
crazy.
her in Canaveral when we were on Liberty.
Yeah, we just got off the Liberty that weekend.
It was like right after.
Because I was in the middle of editing one of the vlogs from that Carnival Liberty cruise when I saw that.
She was about to go to dry dock. That was right before she got that big dry dock.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, she was supposed to get it. She was supposed to get it at the end of her European season, but she was getting ready to leave for it. So instead, because they had to fix it real quick, so they sent it over to Freeport. They tried to fix it, and that happened. And so they were like, "Crap! All right, let's just limp it back over, fix it up a little bit, and then we'll do the main repairs. At the end of the summer season."
Yeah,
that was a crazy time. Yeah, exactly. They canceled like 2 weeks worth. I think it was like 2 sailings left, and then the transatlantic or something like that.
Why did I think they canceled this week's cruise? It's next week's cruise?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I think Vista was in.
I thought it was this week's because she was like down bad last week.
Right.
So this
and
week,
she did an 8-day cruise instead of going to Aruba. Only went to Princess K, Half Moon K, Nassau, and Freeport.
So what she's doing instead of like a normal they altered the itinerary to where she could at least get the 6th night out of the way. But instead of they're just doing Half Moon, Freeport, and Nassau instead of, going down to like Cozumel and Grand Cayman. So, I mean, you got to get a little bit higher speeds to get over to those places. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense in a way. They probably are going to spend a little bit extra time in Freeport just unloading supplies too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Plus, it probably makes more sense for them to cancel the 8 night, which is more unfortunate because the 8 nights are better. But that gives them an extra day to continue to work on it. So they probably did that on purpose, is leaving the 6th night and just doing a really slow, low-speed itinerary for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like the thing with Azipods, they're the best propulsion you could put on a ship. It's just it's like glass.
Yeah.
Carnival Panorama had Azipod problems before she even made it to Los Angeles when she was brand new. She literally went through like the Drake's Passage, and then they maybe a couple days after going through the Drake's Passage, they like, oh yeah, Panorama's having Azipod problems. We're like, no way. Like she's brand new.
Speaking of Panorama, she's in Japan. Who knew that?
I love that.
Right.
I would have loved to go on that. That's such a cool. LA going up into Alaska, like around the bend into Korea and Japan. That is so cool.
Like a 16-day and then like a 9-day. They split it into 2. They did like the Alaska part first, and then they split it. for the Japan, and then she's gonna like do like a 7-day or two around like Singapore, and then do a 25-day back and go to like Bora Bora.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I've
great.
seen
It's
Carnival
so
Ship
cool.
dock in Bora Bora. I'm gonna have to look out for those pictures.
That's gonna be really cool. And she's gonna be painted. She's the last one to get painted too. That blue paint job ended up being so nice on like everything. A lot of people were skeptical. They were like, "Oh, is this like blue paint job actually gonna even look good on a lot of these ships?" But Carnival ships look 10 times better with that blue paint on them. It's a much cleaner look, and it's definitely a lot better on the maintenance cost. Because yeah, that bright white paint job just it. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so rusty," and like it's white paint on a ship in the Caribbean, and I mean it's a ship in general. Like it's gonna get rust. Like Royal Caribbean ships have rust on them, maybe not quite as much because they have a different color, especially the like bluer color. Yeah, it's not nearly as susceptible to that rust color. So I mean, yeah, it happens to everything, but it definitely stood out a lot more on Carnival just because there was nothing else there other than just the white paint, so it just stuck out so much more. Even NCL, I mean the
we're also talking
Prima.
about Carnival here. Let's not give them too much credit for their non-existent actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their ship maintenance isn't great at times. Usually the newer ships definitely get a little bit better treatment, but yeah.
But I will say, I just hope they don't put a Band-Aid on a shark bite with this Vista repair. I mean, if they need to cancel more cruises, just bite the bullet. Stop trying to take these little chunks out of the sandwich, because sooner or later that sandwich is going to be gone, and that ship is just going to be.
Oh yeah, I honestly, I mean, it's an Azapod repair. If they know exactly what they're trying to fix, they probably already have the part, and that's why they have it going in now. So if they can, I mean, it in theory should be a fairly quick fix. I mean, as long as, like you said, as long as they're not putting a Band-Aid on a shark bite. Never heard that before, but that's a good one.
I mean, that's what they're doing. I feel like it's been having issues forever, and they're trying to put the Band-Aid on. It's just like, yo.
Right. I mean, once it goes in for a major dry dock, it'll be better.
Canceling 4 or 5 cruises instead of canceling 4 or 5 cruises that you've had to do the past, I don't know, couple months, and have to refund and give people 100% on their next cruise. You just doubled your losses.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, as long as they know, like, all right, this is, a semi decent repair. This is a good enough repair to get them until the next 5-year dry dock, which I guess is in 5 years, because they just literally got it out of its last major dry dock. So, I mean, yeah, they got to make sure they do the right thing and the right repairs on it, for sure. But yeah, it's like Azapods are so good. I mean, they're literally the most maneuverable, propulsion units. I mean, you wouldn't be able to get even the Oasis class or Icon class. I don't know how MSC does it with the World class. It looks ridiculous. But without it, with the old twin screw design. But like with Azapods, there's no way you could maneuver the Icon the way they do, or the Oasis class.
Do you guys know if? I mean, I guess I heard good things, but Seaside just finished up her 3 and 4 days, and now that she's on 7s, how people like the 3 and 4 days on Seaside?
Yeah, I hear a lot of really good things about the Seashore too. I mean, it seems to be
Seashore, yeah. Seashore's been on the 7s, but Seaside's the one on the 3 and 4s.
Yeah, and one really cool thing about what MSC does with it too is that they'll do 3 and 4, or you can do a 7, but it just comes back into Canaveral halfway through.
Yeah, you
can do a full 7 if you wanted to. You could book it as a 7-day cruise rather than a 3 and a 4 back to back. It's weird, but it's MSC. They do weird things.
True.
But it seems to be doing well. I mean, yeah, I hear a lot of really great things about the Seashore.
Me too.
So, but yeah, the Azapod repairs are unfortunate though. I hate that it happens again. If my cat could stop chewing on the mouse. But yeah. Anyways, next question here. If you could make a cruise ship, what would you name it, and what features would you put on it?
Pookie of the Seas.
Yeah, Pookie of the Seas.
Pookie of the Seas.
That would definitely be the name.
That
It's got to have a lazy river.
I would have the roller coaster, and I'd have the Abyss. Hands down, I'd have both of those.
Yeah. And a huge water park.
Huge water park.
Like twice the size of Icon.
Like huge.
That would be crazy. The roller coaster goes around the water park.
Or the water park goes around the roller coaster.
You do the loop, but the slide goes through the middle of the loop.
Yes.
Could you imagine them putting a loop on a roller coaster on a ship? That'd be nuts. There's no way. There's no way that's possible. But that would be so cool.
They'll do it one day. These ships are getting crazy.
We used to say that we weren't even going to put a roller coaster on it in the first place, so
that's true.
Here we are. We have 3, soon to be 5, and who knows what these next gen ships from Carnival are going to have.
Yeah, probably.
I would say they more than likely will have roller coasters on this new one, this new class, but I do think they also have something else going on. And I don't even know what else they have going on. Like, that's me, like, I was told, like, yeah, they've got something else under wraps, like, very secretively. That a lot of, like, even the people that know things don't know things. So it'll be interesting to see what they kind of do with that next gen ship. I'm really excited to see those come out.
Back.
Right.
Give you like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. I think it would be really cool to do like a roller coaster and, you know, an Abyss. Like, combine all that's good about Royal Caribbean and Carnival together. I think you'd get like the ultimate ship.
I would like to see just something, obviously, you know, the usual, the park, the water park, you know, stuff, but something that we haven't seen.
That's
I'm
true.
trying to think of what, like, just something.
Like, what could we?
Different. We have gardens.
What have we not done yet? Yeah, like what could we do that we haven't done yet?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Really? Oh, that's right, Galaxy Pavilion.
Like the Seaplex, yeah.
Yeah.
Or not Seaplex.
Did you do Galaxy Pavilion on Joy when you sailed on it? That little VR arcade.
It's not there anymore because they took it away.
I know. I'm upset. I was like really looking forward to that because I wanted to try that.
Yeah, it was really cool. I've definitely got pictures of it. I also did on Seascape. They have something similar, and all their ships have the F1 simulator. That was really cool.
That is cool. As like a car person like you are, I would go crazy for that.
Yeah,
I would love it, especially because my car drives like a little go-kart. It's so funny. So outside of cruise ships, like, cars are also my thing, and same with Dimitri, but he's more into trucks. His truck, I have a lowered car. Like, my car is lower than normal. I have it modified to be lowered, but he's lifted his truck. So complete opposites there. Like, my roof is about even with like the top of his tires. It is the funniest thing. Like, I remember one time we were ship spotting in Tampa, and you like pulled up, and I rolled down my window, and I go, "How's the weather up there?" I was like, literally stuck my head out and looked up, and he's like sticking his head out, looking down. That was funny. But yeah, it was fun. I just don't know what else we could do on a ship, though. There's so many things that we've already done, which like we thought were impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move on to the next one. What's the best cruise lines for musical performances? Daughter loved Hairspray on Symphony of the Seas. Hairspray was very good on Symphony. That was I think my favorite Broadway show out of any of them on any of the Oasis ships. Cats definitely on the bottom of that list. That was terrible on Oasis.
That show's trash.
I can't believe they even made a movie about the Cats movie. That was even worse.
We will not be
But
seeing it in November.
we will not be going to see that when we go on Oasis in a few months. But
no,
I
thank
have
you.
to say, although I haven't seen Grease on Harmony, I think Hairspray is probably the best Broadway show that they have on any of the Oasis class right now.
I've heard it's good.
I forgot what's on Wonder. I know I went to go see it on Wonder, but I don't know what's on Wonder. I can't think of it.
We didn't go see the Broadway show. I should know this. I was just there a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Icon is Wizard of Oz, and that was really good too.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing on Utopia.
Royal Caribbean's entertainment's pretty good. Norwegian's is pretty good. I feel like everybody in their Broadway show, if they don't do it good, forget about it. But I mean, if you really want musical performances, I think Disney is calling your name.
Okay, I can see that. If you're a Disney fan, then yeah.
Depending on the age of your daughter, of course.
Although I will say that like Norwegian probably has some of the better ones too. Like Getaway had like some like Burn the Floor or some like they're like some sort of like
they have like a thing. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's got like a Cuban
It is
theme to
It's
it.
very similar. For the
It's got a
Beatles, is it the
Cuban
Beatles?
thing. Yeah, and then they have the $1 Million Quartet as well.
Like
Like
the $1 Million Quartet, and then they have the separate for just like the singer, like the separate venue
yeah,
for
that's
just a singer and
just
stuff, which is
yeah. Actually, yeah, they actually do really good live performances like on the like Carnival will do like sitting in the atrium, like they'll have performers sitting in the atrium and stuff like that, which I really like. But NCL does that too, and usually NCLs are very good.
yeah.
But yeah, like even because Joy has Footloose, I think. I don't know if they've changed that, but
Is it
we
really?
definitely
We
need
should
to
go see that.
we definitely need to go see it because I'd love to go see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have Footloose on the Joy. The Bliss has the Jersey Boys, which is a fantastic show. Um, that was a really good one. I think Encore is like Kinky Boots. I've never really seen or heard of that one. I don't know if I'll go see it, but I'd probably just go see it because I have nothing else to do for 7 days. But I haven't really heard anything about it. But I've heard really good things about Footloose, and I don't remember what it is on Escape, but like from experience, Jersey Boys on the Bliss was fantastic.
Yeah. Before we can continue with this question, but I have a question for you guys before we go on
Okay.
to the next question. So are we done with this question? Are we
Yeah, we can move on.
okay? So I told you guys about the new port in the Caribbean that kind of popped up out of nowhere, Cabo Rojo and Dominican.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of a man-made port with a resort area, pool, lazy river, bar. There's a beach nearby, whatever. Do you think ports like those have the same, like, people want to go there compared to, like, St. Thomas is known for their beautiful beaches? Or do you think that places like that, like Puerto Plata, Grand Turk, like just that were just for ports, are going to kind of die off? Or do you think they're going to become popular?
That's where the cruise industry is going to start to run into, I wouldn't say issues, but a crossroad.
Where else are there any hidden gems in the Caribbean
Right.
that are known for, let's say, a beach or a monument or something ancient without
Right.
making this man-made area? Because somebody I saw on the forum the other day, I don't want to go to these ports where it's just a man-made resort like I can go get if I
Mhm.
travel to Florida for a week. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
nothing special. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. I mean, even Cozumel's incredible. And I mean, they have, you can go like to the ruin, like the old temple, like the Mayan temples and stuff like that, and the ruins. But like you can do stuff like that, but mostly Cozumel is again like the resort style, just big, built up by the cruise lines, and it's yeah, they're gonna run into a bit of a crossroad there because yeah, people do want to cruise for some of these like really cool and like unique destinations, but the ports that they're building, especially like the private islands, specifically, but even like this new place, Cabo Rojo, where it's, built up by all the cruise lines and it's mostly just kind of all controlled by them. That's where they're making all their money. They're making a lot more money, and it's still reviewing well. And that's where the big ships can fit, because they kind of did that on purpose, but that's where the big ships can fit. So the unique destinations and the exclusive destination, or not exclusive, but like the unique ones that have something special to them, that little bit of charm because they're that hidden gem of the Caribbean, those are being seen less and less over the years because all of these new destinations that they're building, one, because of the new destinations, and they also not making as much money off of them, but two, the ships aren't fitting there anymore because they're getting so big. So, I know Royal Caribbean's cooking up the Project Discovery, but I don't know if that really is tethering to that specifically. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because, like you said, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that are going, all right, well, I didn't want to go to this place because it was built up by the cruise line. I wanted to go to this place because it was, this really interesting place, a very exotic, very, historic place, it's like the ruins that you can go see in Cozumel or Costa Maya and things like that. Now the main focus and the main offerings are going to be right there where the ship is. And I mean, now as well, I see it mentioned in the chat, but it's absolutely right. But like the ship is the destination now.
I feel like these newer, bigger ones, they are.
I did not sail on Icon to go to Cozumel. I sailed on Icon because I wanted to go on Icon. And I'm also going on Star of the Seas on the same itinerary, but I'm going to sail on Star. I'm not going to go to Cozumel for the 20th time.
That's true. I agree with that.
But, there's also people that are going on Icon of the Seas that are also going for some of these ports. But I would say maybe not 90%. I would say maybe at least half of the time, like people are going because of the ship now. At least repeat cruisers are typically going for the ships these days, especially if it's an Oasis or an Icon class. Like you don't typically go on those ships anymore. If you're a repeat cruiser, especially a frequent cruiser, and you're going on one of those two classes of ships, you're not going to go to Cozumel. You're going to go on an Oasis class or an Icon class.
Right. And I think with some of these places, you go to, I don't know how to explain it, but some of these ports you go to, you kind of get hassled.
I hate going to Jamaica. I got ripped in one video because I said one. I usually never say anything negative because I'd always try to keep it very positive. But I said one negative thing one time about Jamaica in a video once. I got ripped in the comments. Bro, I almost got mugged. I mean, no wonder. I'm not going to have anything good to say when I almost get mugged when I go somewhere. I did not feel safe the moment I stepped off that ship. Like, as soon as I got to the end of that pier, I was like, all right, I'm keeping my hands in my pocket so nobody takes my phone. And I'm keeping my camera close to me, and I'm making sure somebody's watching my backpack behind me. Like, I had people nestled up right next to me, getting into my personal space. Like, oh, can I get you a taxi ride? I literally got followed from the moment I got off the pier into one of the shops. Like, they just kept following me. I'd say, like, oh no, I don't need a taxi ride, but they just kept following behind me, like a good 5 feet behind. I'm like, no, this is not okay. And that's how a lot of places in Jamaica are too. It's not exclusive to Ocho Rios. It's all of Jamaica. And there are other places. It's not just Jamaica either, but Jamaica is my biggest one. I do not like going there. What was that?
I said I've been to all 3 ports in Jamaica, and that's how it all is. And I feel like that's also the thing, because if you have kids, you got to think about safety.
Somebody
commented on a post, and I saw, what are your ideas? We're going on a cruise, but what stops do you recommend for if we have kids? I'd not like to leave the safety of the port and have like a port area like Grand Turk. These man-made ports are great for that. You don't have to leave the port area.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect for
And
families.
it's just like, mhm.
But like if you have kids, if you're sailing with somebody, I would even say under 18. I wouldn't even say like, 14, 16-ish, like when they're it's at least able to like kind of keep their own out there. If you're sailing with somebody under 18, do not go to Jamaica. Do not. It's just not safe.
Or just treat it as a sea day.
Or La Romana, Dominican Republic. Most Dominican Republic places, unless it's controlled by the port. Amber Cove obviously is an exception, and Puerto Plata is obviously very sheltered and controlled by the cruise line. So like those places, yes. But like if you're going to La Romana, no, no. I mean,
Well, I want to reserve my judgment because I've also been to La Romana and got chased by the police there as well. But they
my
redid
tour
it and
bus that
made a
took me into
port
the
area with
city,
a resort pool.
my
They
tour
made a
bus that
resort
took me
area
into
with a
the
pool at Puerto Plata.
yeah, my tour bus. The first time I went to La Romana, this is obviously back in like 2012, so this is when I first started going there. But like my tour bus that took us from the port into the city had bullet holes in the windshield. No, my parents looked at me and they're like, "All right, you're gonna have to stay very close." And that's just how some of these places are. But like that's the benefit of some of these highly sheltered and built up places by the cruise lines. And like, yeah, some people don't like them, but for families, it's perfect. You don't have to worry about your safety. Even in Costa Maya, it's very sheltered. Cozumel, I love going there because I never have to worry about it. You'll get the people lined up like on the edge of the port that are like, "Oh, hey, come get a taxi," things like that. But like, you're not gonna get hassled. You're not gonna get followed because those people know too that one bad thing happens and that's the entire economy of that entire island is gone. If something bad
Yeah.
happens to a passenger on a cruise ship in Cozumel. So, like, at least in Mexico and at least in like Cozumel and the main port areas, they know better. You know, you might get asked like, "Hey, yeah, like come get a taxi ride, come get this, come see the excursions," but like they're not going to chase you down like some places will.
Yeah, I don't like that very much.
No. I do not ever plan on going back to Jamaica. After my experience in Ocho Rios on the horizon, I do not plan on going back. If I ever do, I will not even get to the end of the pier. I won't even get close. I trust Nassau more than I trust Jamaica. Nassau is another example, but Nassau has gotten better, 100%. We've also been
Yeah.
offered very questionable substances in Nassau as well. We did
And
not
we
take
may
them.
or may not have accepted them.
We did not, but I have never been offered that before. That's for sure. But it's also just the nature. They're not they're not the U.S. It obviously is just higher crime areas and higher crime in the Caribbean and things like that because they're smaller just countries and things like that. They're not the big powerhouse of the U.S. and things like that, but it's definitely a lot different in some of those places. But yeah, a place like Jamaica, even Nassau, if you leave the main port area, Nassau, a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some places that you need to kind of be wary of, and I would say Jamaica is the biggest one in my opinion. But even certain places, with the exception of Amber Cove and Puerto Plata, I would say Dominican Republic. There's a reason they don't go to Haiti anymore.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
real.
yeah. So there is a lot of good that comes out of these built up ports and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah, but Nassau
What
again.
are
Nassau is very nice now.
okay.
If you stay within the port area, if you like, I mean, as soon as you come off the pier, there's like all the big, nice, beautiful white buildings. You can walk all the way down. It's beautiful in there. Once you get to the little amphitheater and the little concert venue at the end, don't go out the gate, and and that's kind of when you need to be a little bit on edge. But honestly, it's not as bad as it used to be. But if you stay within the port area, like up to that concert venue, and like within the white shopping buildings, it's very nice there now. I will say, 100%.
Yeah.
it's definitely done. I wouldn't say it's a complete 180, but it's definitely a big turn for the better.
And I mean,
I agree. They did a
like I
good
said,
job.
they know better than to cause issues.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of like Cozumel. They kind of know not to cause too many problems. Um, you know, I would say the crime in the Bahamas is probably a little bit worse than it is in Mexico. But you're also not really in the mainland part of Mexico, at least when you're in Cozumel. But yeah, I mean, it's the nature of being just out in any foreign country. I mean, they're going to see tourists. There's going to be people that target tourists. I mean, people target tourists down here in Florida all the time. I mean, I target. I see tourists on I-4 and I start screwing with them in traffic.
You have to. You have
I
to.
see, I see those New York plates. You're getting cut off, brother.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know.
Let them know who's boss. No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Dimitri's gonna honk his train horn at you if you got those northern
Real.
plates. But no, I mean, yeah, when you're in any foreign country, you just kind of have to be a little bit wary of your surroundings. But you know, but I would say, you know, the biggest one to avoid, in my opinion, you need to avoid Jamaica if you're gonna avoid anything.
Agreed. Sorry, Jamaica.
Yeah, sorry, Jamaica. You just kind of have to. You're just gonna have to do a little bit better on controlling what's going on in your ports. Is really what it is. Because it's just not been great anytime I've been there. Let's see. Next question though. Do you know when the Carnival of Valor is getting the waterworks upgrade? That's a good question. I know they technically have been in the dry dock since they started doing that. I think maybe COVID played a factor into it, so. I think Valor's due for an upgrade maybe next year. I think 26, 25 or 26, I think. Buffalo, New York. We were talking about messing with New Yorkers in traffic here in Florida.
Don't drive on
That's cool though. My mom's from Buffalo. But yeah, I think Valor's due for an upgrade. I think within the next two-ish years, I would say.
That sounds about right.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else in the chat here? Any more questions? I think we're getting kind of to the end of our list. Was there anything that you guys wanted to touch on, like news-wise or anything like that? We've got about maybe 10, 15 minutes left.
So as much as the people in Alaska hate cruises, Royal Caribbean has said they're going to pay and put Starlink in Sitka and Juneau because of the such poor internet speeds that all the locals have to deal with when ships dock there.
That's
I found
funny.
that
I like that.
That's funny.
I like that. It's good for them.
Only a couple hundred people, maybe 1,000 people live in these towns. Even if you get one cruise ship, that doubles the occupancy. A cell phone tower is not going to be used to that. And I remember when we were in Juneau, there's no cell signal. It was kind of bad, but I mean, as soon as you kind of got out of town, it was fine. But even if there's 5 or 6 ships in port, I can only imagine. I mean, there were 4 ships, but now Alaska is so popular, 5 and 6 is the norm.
Yeah. I mean, they probably just do what they did like with Coco Cay. Like Coco just has like a Wi-Fi booster on the island, basically, is somewhere. But yeah, like
Sorry, continue.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, probably the cell towers will definitely help out, though. I mean, it's also Alaska. I mean, you kind of have to think these tiny little, log cabin type lodge, towns.
Like 100, maybe 1,000 people.
Right, exactly. So like when you're coming in and doubling the population, I mean, you got to think like they're not really built for that in the first place. So I mean, the funny that reminds me, I saw a TikTok the other day. It was like these people, they were like, "We're from Alaska," and like explaining like some weird habit like Alaska people like only deal with, and some of the comments were like, "These people look like they just crawled out of a cave."
We only see the sun like half the year.
Yeah, we only see sun half the year. It's like, yeah, we can tell. But Well, no, like I mean that's just how Alaska is. So like I'm not
Never-
surprised that they just don't have the infrastructure to keep up with like influx of technology and data and things like that. Like they do sometimes. I mean it's gotten so big so quickly. Alaska's always been big, but especially now. I mean now you're getting mega ships, like the big boy
Right.
mega ships too. I mean it definitely has taken a much of a spike in popularity over the last couple of years for sure. So I can definitely see why. What do we think of
bus
Jubilee
driver, I don't
doing?
remember where.
Yeah. Hopping to the next question though, what do we think of Jubilee doing 8-night Bahama cruises from Galveston? That's sick.
That's
Honestly, like Bahamas cruises, yeah, but like when you start to think about it, like again, like we went earlier, they're gonna have a dock in Half Moon Key, they're gonna have Celebration Key, throw in Nassau maybe. Like that's pretty cool. I'd do it.
yeah.
Being that even in Florida, I'm not gonna go all the way out to Texas to go on an XL class when I have one an hour away from me. But I really
We'll
want
just
to
go
sail on the
another
Jubilee.
ship to see her in Celebration Key.
We've done that before.
I know.
I do
I
want.
know.
I hope eventually they do move the Jubilee out of there. Obviously, replace it with something better. Probably one of the next gen ships will replace it. But I hope they move the Jubilee over to Florida at some point because I really want to sail on her because that was the original was my first Carnival cruise. So I'd love to go on the new Jubilee. Like I probably would have done Celebration by now if I did the original Celebration for sure. I mean, I still want to regardless, but I probably would have had a little bit of extra like reason to try it.
And,
I think they're going
can I
all
add
in
a
on
part
that.
B to this question?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on just 7-day cruises from Canaveral, Miami, even Tampa or Fort Lauderdale, just going to the Bahamas? I see a lot of people starting to do that now. Royal, Celebrity.
It seems to be the trend right now with all these private
I-
destination stuff.
I see why people wouldn't like it, but going back to our conversation earlier, I mean, the ships are the destination now, and then again, the cruise lines can monetize the living hell out of some of these ports, right? You cannot do anything but go into the pool or grab a beach chair in Coco Cay without spending money. Like you can grab a beach chair, but like if you want like shade, I mean, obviously there's like small umbrellas, but like if you want like a small little like a little day bed.
More.
Yeah, it's like $70 to go into the adults only area. It's like $150 to do the water park. If you want one of the nice little cabana area things, I've done the cabanas. They're not cheap. My family, we spent I think $1,200 for the day. It was the private cabanas. So we had like a waiter and everything like that. We had like a bartender like the whole day. Like we had the little button we could press to like have them come in, stuff like that. Like honestly, it was amazing. Like if you have the money, definitely try it because it's really cool. But my God, it is so expensive. Like you have to pay to do anything except for go into the Oasis Lagoon pool or grab a chair just like right on the beach. Anything else is going to cost you money. But it's working. People are spending their money though.
Yeah, I mean that's why they keep raising their prices. People are going to keep paying it, which is the problem. So
That's the problem
I'll find that
with
one.
Royal Caribbean specifically is getting way out of hand. But I mean, even some of the other cruise lines, like their pricing are going up. But like Royal Caribbean specifically, they've got such a stronghold on every corner of the market right now, and it's probably the worst thing for the cruise industry right now is, as I'm not saying anything bad about Royal Caribbean. I think it's incredible. I think what they're doing is incredible. And there's a reason that they're dominating the way that they are because they're killing it. They're doing everything right. But they have too much of a stronghold and they're doing too good to the point where their demand is so high and people are willing to spend just crazy amounts of money because that's what Royal Caribbean's doing best. I mean, they're the best ones doing it right now. So people are going to pay whatever they want to pay. And to do anything on a Royal Caribbean ship, or at least in any of their ports, you're going to have to spend even more money. And it's making them even more, driving up the demands. It's insane. at some point we got to reach a limit to where people are not going to be paying, you know, $3,000-$4,000 a person for a week on the Icon. It's not
Right.
practical. It's just not
not
practical.
No, it's crazy. It's
When
insane.
the day that there are 6 of these Icon class out there, there is absolutely no reason to be paying $2,000 per person for a week in an inside cabin on Icon.
Right.
Not when there's 6 of them and you have 8 Oasis class on top of that. No way. It can happen.
We'll see.
It cannot
man.
happen.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I like the chat that just popped in here. I hopefully MSC will get to Royal or to lower their prices a little bit with the world class. MSC is I've heard a little bit of rumblings of what MSC has in mind, and MSC's coming for Royal. Royal's not anywhere near concerned right now, but I think in maybe 10 years or so, I think Royal may have a contender. But they're coming for Carnival. They're already giving NCL a run for their money, but they're coming for Carnival, and they're going for Royal 100%.
Yeah.
They that 270,000 ton ship project that they've got cooking up with Meyer Werft, it's all but a signed deal at this point. I think they're actually like planning to go through with it. I don't know if it'll be actually. It's in the microwave. It's getting nuked, but it's not. Well, nuked is not a right term for that, but that's what I call microwaving it. I don't know if anybody else calls it this, but like when I microwave something, I'm like, oh, just nuke it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
No, I definitely don't say that.
Oh,
Sorry.
He likes Japanese things, so it fits in perfectly.
Oh, God.
Of course.
that is not at all what I meant. Let's see. One of our last questions here. Travel with Nick. What's going on, Nick? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Says, just out of curiosity, do I have any plans or aspirations to work on the cruise ship still? On the cruise ships, no. For the cruise lines, I'd definitely be open to it. I don't know exactly what I'd probably just do something similar to what I could do now. If I could manage to do what I do now with a cruise line, that'd be incredible. But I think on a ship, I don't know. I also am aware I'm kind of getting old. So I'm getting a little old to be doing the ship life, but like if I was a little bit younger, I mean, looking back, I may kind of I mean, yeah, I had the opportunity to. I kind of missed out a little bit, and I kind of backed out and got cold feet. But I think I kind of lined myself up a little bit better by not going. But at the same time, it would have been really cool to at least experience. But if I was, like 8 years younger, I'd probably be all for it. But I'd also have to just do. I mean, at this point, I'm in a corporate office job, and. That's just not something that's a big lifestyle change to go from, your everyday 9-to-5 corporate finance job into, working on a ship again. Now, if my office job with the cruise lines involved going on the ship from time to time for audits, I'm in. But I think we lost Pookie, by the way.
Oh, did we? I was going to say I don't hear him, but what I was going to say, I mean, with my engineering degree, I could definitely make something with ships work, be an engineer on the ship, but I don't know if that's what I want.
Yeah.
But I will say that if I was more of a finance person, I would love to work on like the itinerary team or
that was ironically
design.
I was in the interview process with Carnival at one point. This is obviously in 2020, like during college, you kind of have to get some internships and stuff like that. Justin texted me, said his computer is completely frozen. Oh, rip.
Oh no!
All the cameras are messed up now. No. All right, we're almost done, anyways. But yeah, I mean,
oh my God,
we're just gonna leave it like this so it doesn't screw it up for next week. But yeah, I think if I could do like some sort of like finance thing, like again in the itinerary planning team, that'd be really, really cool. But during my, junior and senior year of college, I was looking for. I was doing the like just signing up and interviewing like for internships and stuff like that. And I was actually like in the process of interviewing. I can see myself like peeking up over the thing here. I'm getting so distracted by it. But I was actually like being interviewed with Carnival for the itinerary and the planning type of team. But then of course COVID hit and that kind of went through and, you know, didn't work out because of COVID. But I mean, something like that I would love to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, that would definitely be cool. But like I was saying, I would slap them all in the face, whichever company I go to, and I'll fix everything. Just leave it up to me.
I have the best ideas. Hire me right now. All right.
Guys, we're sailing to Madagascar.
King Julian. All right.
Oasis
but
in Seychelles.
yes, but given our technical experiences right now, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. We're out of time anyways. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's podcast. Be sure to stay tuned for next week as we are doing a preview or like a little pre-cruise podcast, talking about all about our upcoming cruise on the Carnival Glory. Finally going with Carnival again. Very excited for it. Yes. So yeah, with that, thank you for listening on whatever platform. Those who are live, thank you guys. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good night, everyone.
Peace out, guys.